Explain Chat GPT in one sentence. Chat GPT is a state-of-the-art language model developed by OpenAI that can generate human-like text responses to various prompts using deep learning techniques. State-of-the-art? I guess you would believe that until you remember who told you that. Chat GPT has been all over the news, more than if it was called Harry Potter and the Climate Change Wildfires. And mainly, these conversations are, "Whoa, man, AI is coming for our jobs."
Took our jobs! They took our jobs! They took your jobs! They took our jobs!
Firstly, please. It can, it will, let's move on. The real question is, can ChatGPT dethrone Google in the search market? Silicon Valley's finest have been working on the answer, but let's see if a small YouTuber can work it out first. Chapter 1. The competition begins. A long time ago, on a computer far, far away, the internet was a vast open field made up of websites, blogs, and message boards. If you were born after the millennium, think of it like a big, wild jungle full of tribes known as forums. But then Google arrived on the scene like a map and a compass. Again, if you're born after the millennium bug, think of a map and a compass as like a book that you read to work out where you're going. Google helped people navigate this chaotic world of information, and as time passed, the jungle became much more organized. Big kingdoms started to emerge like Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and MySpace. Okay, again, MySpace is like Facebook, but for emos. And if you want to know what an emo is, you can Chat GPT it, which I admit does not have the same ring to it. These big kingdoms controlled the conversation and made sure that it happened inside their borders. In short, they didn't want to play nice with Google, and they mainly gate-kept all the conversations, making it harder for Google to share, index, and show the information, unless they paid a lot of money for it. At the same time, businesses realized that coming up on the first page of Google's search results was the holy grail of advertising. So they started to use SEO to optimize their web pages or blogs, or what we'd call today, content. Everybody wants to be the first hit on Google, which is why the SEO industry is worth $50 billion. Google noticed this, I mean, how could you not, and started to offer companies the option to pay to be the first hit on page 1, even if their content wasn't the most useful for the user, which has caused a problem. As you can see, when I search for stuff to do in London, I end up with a load of sponsored links up here, paid for ads and events down here, and even the so-called organic search results are things that have been paid for by companies who hired SEO companies. This page has been bought and sold more than every US president, and frankly, users have noticed. As a result of putting money ahead of their core product, Google is losing out on search traffic to TikTok, Instagram, and now ChatGPT. People's habits are changing, and now they don't trust faceless search results. We live in an attention economy, so we don't want to waste time looking through millions of search results to find the answer to a question. We just want to get in, get out, and hopefully, if we finish quick enough, ask her for half of our money back. The future of search comes down to the future of information, which comes down to trust. For some reason, TikTok has that by the bucket load at the moment, which is why many people are using it as a recommendation engine. But ChatGPT is gaining trust every second because it's new, free, and talks to you in an easy to understand and concise way. People trust it. I mean, this is something that every politician could learn from. You can't game ChatGPT in the same way you can game Google. Right now, you can't pay ChatGPT to say they love Raisin Bran when you ask what the best cereal is. And for good reason. It's basically hamster bedding. But Raisin Bran's CEO could pay Google to come up as their top search result. And they have. To claw back some of that sweet, sweet ad money, Google Chrome blocked ad blockers and said it would release its own chatbot. But is it too little, too late? Sure, Google have the coding power and the money to launch their own version, but would we trust it? And would it have a different business model behind it than mining our data? I'm not so sure. Google has acknowledged that most of the internet's content is doubles, and increasingly people are including words like Reddit to their search terms to find answers to specific problems. Facebook has entered the chat and is betting big that the metaverse will be the future. And I could see a place for VR in our lives, but not one that's owned by a company with the same business model and track record as Meta, because as I've said before, it all comes down to trust. Part 2. Microsoft. On the face of it, in its current form, ChatGPT doesn't look like a full contender to Google, but looks can be deceiving, as every AI Instagram filter will tell you. Microsoft has invested billions, that's trillions with a B, into getting their grubby little hands on the technology to put it into their search engine, Bing. Microsoft love a subscription model, so could fund ChatGPT through regular monthly payments rather than mining all of our data. This would not only mean we'd get a digital assistant who could answer every dumb question that pops into our head, but also, potentially, we could regain some of our privacy, which is appealing. As I said previously in my predictions video, I'd love to see an AI version of Clippy helping me through not only cover letters, but also coding, recipes, and more. The elephant in the room is that most people are used to getting things for free, either because they're attractive or because they've worked out how to torrent stuff. In a cost of living crisis, with inflation running through the roof, and every business and their dog trying to move into a subscription model, would people fork out £30 a month to get fewer ads, better results, and potentially increased privacy? I honestly don't know. Also, the one thing that everyone seems to be overlooking is that the first version of Google was dog shit. I'm sorry, they did their best and it has improved over time. But let's be real, or as real as I can be given that this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. Google 1.0 had a long way to go before it was useful. This is just version 1 of ChatGPT. And yes, I know the numbers don't quite work because it's built on GPT-3. Just assume we're going with the Star Wars numbering system here. What I do know is that we are at a crossroads. If we have no interest of changing the dominant monetization model online, namely mining all of our data, creating profiles, and then selling ad space around our attention to marketeers, ChatGPT has no place in our future. It's more likely that the metaverse and Google are going to fight it out. But if we've had enough of our data and attention being stolen to make others rich, we can cast our votes with our data and flock to ChatGPT. This sends a message to the likes of Google and Facebook that there are other options and we prefer them. So you either need to get on board, change what you're offering, or offer us something completely different. But what do you think? Do you think ChatGPT could be the future of search? Let me know in the comments. Godspeed. I'll see you all next week.